Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a new best of five. Today, we're going to be having a look at a best five played between Solar and Clem. This is from the same tournament that we had the Solar versus Sparting replays from. So once again, no matter the score in the best of five, we're going to be playing all 5 games, which I think is a very exciting format. I understand why it's not optimal for tournaments, but I think it's really cool to just see the players play, and I believe that they get a little bit of money for every single map, so they still have an incentive to play. So rather than, usually what happens if you lose 3-2, you just get imagine it's a finals, you just get the second place money, right? But in this tournament, I think the way they did it is that they had, so they had first, second, and third place prize money, but then on top of that, they also gave money per map. So losing 3-2 was better than losing 3-0. Which usually there's no real difference, which is why I always tend to lose 3-0. And it's the most efficient result, you know, rather than having to struggle for 2 games, win those, and then still get the disappointment, and then get less money. I'm a very efficient thinker, which is also why I'm out of tournaments very rapidly most of the time. So I can start recording YouTube videos again. We have Solar, just opening up with a hatch first. Clem, I can't honestly remember. Do I even have sound? Yeah, I do have sound. Okay, I can't remember the last time Clem actually removed, or sorry, proxy 2-rexed. I'm gonna ask him about it, why he doesn't do that. It feels like Clem has everything that a good proxy 2-rexer has. He has good control. He's a high-level player. And he knows how to build a bunker, which these really are the requirements, just having good control and knowing how to place bunkers. Like, it's very odd because 2-rex and 3-rex, these strategies, they're extremely effective. And especially from a player like Clem, who almost never does it, it would be even more effective, as a lot of the power in the 2-rex is, you know, just the surprise effect. And against people that never do it, well, Zerg players are just going to scout less around their base. They're not going to be drone scouting around their base. So it's, yeah, it surprised me a little. It feels like that is the one weak spot in his play. On the other hand, I kind of understand it as well. He feels so comfortable in this matchup that he doesn't want to take any risk in 2-rexing or 3-rexing or doing any type of risky opener. He likes to play it safe because he knows if he gets to go into the game, into the mid game, into the late game, he doesn't really lose very much. At least not against Zergs that aren't Rainer or perhaps Dark. So, yeah, I kind of feel it, you know? I dig it, but also it's like, yeah, it's another tool that he could use. And sure, it's not 100% win, and sure, you're gonna lose some games with it. But just doing it, it's a bit like how terrorism works, you know. Even if it isn't effective, it is still effective because it instills fear that you might do it again. And that is kind of how you should see the 2-rex. Even if you only do it 2 or 3 times against lower level opponents that you're gonna beat otherwise anyway, the higher level opponents will see that. And I mean, against the lower level, it's also just a good build. Like, overall, it just works a lot. I think the win rate of that build actually is extremely high in tournaments. But for now, Clem is going to be playing a Cloak Banshee opener. I think this is the 6 card. No, this is the 8 card Cloak Banshee opener. Okay. It's going to be going for a little bit more pressure. He tends to like 6 cards, but 8 card also absolutely fine. Loses the Reaper for free. We saw a little bit of a Hellion split earlier on. He's been a fan of this lately, where he splits off his first 2 Hellions and then starts kind of doing whatever with them afterwards. I like it as well. I'm genuinely a big Clem fan. I think he pushes the boundaries of Terran mechanics pretty far. His control is very good. He's also quite smart. Now, thinking about Solar. Solar once won a DreamHack install. Maybe he won it twice, actually. I remember I was there in 2015 when he won DreamHack Stockholm. So he's definitely a veteran of the game who's been performing very well. He also won an MSI tournament, if I recall correctly. MSI Seattle, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think it was MSI Seattle. He won a fair amount. He's never performed too well in GSL, though. I can't remember him doing extremely well in the GSL. Oh, this is not the greatest Hellion run by, honestly. Or, well, maybe we can't quite judge that yet. All of these links are actually gonna go down. I'm surprised how well this went. It felt like Solar was in a good position End of the day, 3 drones go down. All of the links went down as well. These cars are still alive, and there's no queens here whatsoever. Ooh, sloppy micro out of Clem. He's actually gonna lose all of these cars, trading a Hellion per drone. He had 3 Hellions remaining, and 3 more drones died. Now these 2 Banshees are looking for damage. Perhaps the direct damage wasn't that large, even though resources lost is pretty even. But the indirect damage of queens running around, having late injects, and maybe was still worth it. I'm not quite sure though. 62 to 54. Fort base is very delayed though, so any extra drones that Solar is going to be producing at this point will not really see any use. He's going up to 5 gas, so perhaps a fast Hydra then, or we're gonna see a 6 gas being added, and then it could still be a Spire, but Ling Bane obviously only requiring 4 gases. I'm surprised to even see the 5th gas. Perhaps it was to get that fast Overlord speed. Solar's a big fan of Baneling drops. A huge fan of the Baneling drop even. Actually, he really likes doing that. Whereas other Zergs prefer Baneling runbys, the Overlord drop, the Baneling drop has something special because it can get angles that Baneling runbys just can't get done, right? Baneling runby always will be from here. There will be a semi-wall there, or even a pretty big wall here. And Baneling drop can come from here, and the reaction time for the Terran is just way lower, especially if you go over the high ground. There's no depot here. Now, first push is moving out here for Clem. There's almost no creep here, by the way. A little bit surprising. This is a nasty position. Man, the Frenchmen really figured out a way to abuse this map as well. Lightshade, of course, known to be one of the better Zerg maps. I'm a big fan of this run by here. Oh, this is not a run by. This is a flank. This is a flanking run by. Flanking run by. A classic. So basically what you do by showing these links on the map is you force the reinforcements to stay home. And usually then, what you do is you try to clean up this position while the reinforcements are still at home. It's also possible that Clem tries to not... Wait, was this 2 tanks? Oh, this is really odd. Whenever something gets contaminated, it shows up as 2 tanks. Or as 2 from whatever is building. I wonder why that is. If you know why that is, feel free to leave it in the comments. What's this? 1-1 finishing up. Infestation pit going on. He's just playing 5 gas Ling Bane, but you see he's floating a crap ton of gas. Not quite sure what he's going to be using that for. He already has a decent Baneling count, 13. Shoot! Start morphing a couple of extra before he goes in. Yep, there we go. 21 extra Banelings on the way. Still has 300 gas in the bank though. Needs to evacuate from this base. Already has the bottom 5th, and this kind of feels like a decoy base at this point. It's like, alright Clem, you wanna attack and you wanna trade a little bit. You can have this fort base. I have a real fort base here on the bottom, and he's going to even be taking a 5th base here on the bottom. Clem putting a lot of effort, investing a lot of time into clearing creep here and keeping this position. Well, in reality, I mean, this base was nice for larva, but plenty of mineral patches to go around for these drones. Here come the Banelings. We'll be able to blow up these depots, but a rapid reaction here out of Clem, and he will remain a wealthy... He will remain a wealthy individual. Immediately rebuilds the depots. Doesn't lose any of his workers. Another run by here out of Solar, or attempted run by, I should say. It's a poor attempt. These rocks not being down will make it harder to engage from multiple sides, but it is a nasty position again. Really, really gnarly. I wouldn't even mind a tank here. Like dropping 1 tank here is so annoying. Because then that's completely saved and it kind of gets protected by the other tanks. This base gets cancelled, is annoying. Solar hadn't quite retaken that base yet. Clem's actually gonna keep pushing forward here. Gets 1 tank on the high ground. I love that little split of the tanks here. Pure Ling Bane, let's take a look at this engagement in full vision. Not completely simultaneous. A majority of Clem's army is here on the right side. A little bit weird as there was like 6 medevacs for 1 marine and 1 medevac for like 400 marines here in the back. There's still 3 tanks remaining. Solar once again will need to give up a base, and at this point it is getting a little bit worrisome that he just needs to keep on giving up base after base. These 2 Banshees are trying to take out the Baneling nest, will not be able to do that. Queens come to the rescue together with the Overseer. Tanks weren't sieged yet, but the Banelings weren't there to deal with those marines, and these tanks will be allowed to run back home. Lurker then is on the way, as well as 2 Vipers. The economy here for Solar just isn't all that though. It's going into 4 Hydras. He has 112 links. 112 links. That's a lot of links. That is indeed a lot of links. Drilling claws is on the way as well, which might be able to kill a lot of drones. A high number of drones might go down. Oh, see how slow that... It's so crazy how slow the mine burrows, and then once it gets the drilling claws, how fast it is. The reaction time from 3 seconds literally reduced to -1. You need to go to the lady with the crystal ball at like your at the local carnival to figure out when you need to pull away your workers against the drilling claw mine drops. Lurker gets morphed, also gets taken out. 2-2 is about to finish up for Clem here. He forgot to stim, or he just didn't want to. It seems like he didn't need to either. Another scan, and once again this base gets taken out. I mean, Clem is playing a fantastic game here. He's on 4 bases, he's getting a 5th, he's getting a 6th. He has 8 barracks, he has 2 factories. The only thing missing is his 3-3 starting, but there's almost no creep. There's basically no mining here for Solar. I think Clem is just gonna keep going as well. Oh, Solar's gonna lose a Viper for free. Will lose the Baneling Nest as well. There's still 22 Banelings remaining. Here comes the fight as Solar flies into this army. Blinding Clouds will be assisting Solar here, but I'm not quite sure if this is going to be enough. We do see a cleanup of all of the tanks, and this army is all that remains. But here come the reinforcements. Well, never mind. No reinforcements yet, but yeah, 178 supply against 143 is just very painful. Ghost Academy starting as well, and the bases start flying out. Like the young birds that get bopped out of their mom's nest, so will these bases need to find a place for themselves in the big world on Lightshade. And it's going to be a 5th base there for Clem. Mines burrowing rapidly. Vehicle plating level 1 is being researched. Ought to see not a single vehicle attack upgrade, because tanks have been so prominent in this game. Oh, a couple of lurkers here holding the front at the... Well, what is this? The southern location. And Clem says, well, if they're at the south, let's see what you have at the north, and there's nothing there. Now the lurkers have to move, and with... Is there no scans available? No, there is a scan available. Tank from the low grounds trying his best. Blinding Cloud will assist in zoning out these Marines and Marauders. One more tank moving forward. I think these lurkers are just going to get taken out. No more scans available, I guess. And 16 more Banelings are being morphed right now. +1 range attack is on the way here for Solar, but Solar, I think, just once again is going to lose his outside base. Solar never really capable of stabilizing on a 4th and a 5th base. At some points had a 4th base, but not quite good enough, as Clem continues his black parade, his parade of death. Mines hitting more links. GG gets called, and Clem wins game number 1 here in the best of 5. That will actually see 5 games, no matter what. Game number 2 between Solar and Liquid Clem. This time will be played on Romanticide, a map that tends to give us longer games because of the... Well, the obvious defensiveness, the forced passivity on this map. First 3 bases. This would be forward base here for the Zerg. Very easy for Terran as well. 4th base relatively easy for Terran. First 5 bases for Zerg, very well defendable. We'll see if Clem has anything up his sleeve, or if we're going to see a more standard triple CC opener once again out of the French Terran. Has been favoring a lot of these triple CC builds. For a while, he used to be a big fan of the 2 Hellion into double barracks from single gas triple CC. Very powerful build, but it seemed like Zergs kind of optimized their own response to that approach and just became too rich. So Clem seems to have given that up, at least temporarily. Instead, aiming for a little bit more map control in the early game, a little bit more potential damage with these 6 to 8 Hellions, your occasional Banshee in there. Clem doesn't seem to be a massive fan of the opener that Innovation loves so much, which is the Viking into straight tech lab on the barracks. Opening up with a Viking Liberator, or just Liberator, or just only a solo Viking with 6 Hellions isn't something that Clem has been known to do. He either likes to play double gas Hellion Banshee, or he likes to play single gas triple CC into those more barracks focused plays. Sometimes we even see a 3-rex after 2 cars or after 4 cars. Very often not really wanting to get too many starport units, or he'll go into those triple base Banshee like we saw last game. Clem scouts, sees the hatchery timing and says to himself, that is a hatchery. and he will return home. It's the most boring job here, but I don't think the SCV will mind. The first scout has a pretty okay life. Gets to live his life, at least temporarily, in the natural as well. Maybe even gets sent to the main base. I'm not sure what you do. No, you probably get sent to the main base. That's the life, my friends. Is this the SCV that builds the third CC? It is possible. Let's have a look at it. We are not seeing a second gas yet. Probably a decent indication that we are going to see a third command center. That SCV could have built a third command center. You see that? He rallied it instead. Mediocre. Very mediocre play. And boom. Here we go. Third CC goes down. And we'll see what he follows up with. On Romanticide, he really does like that heavier barracks play. Banshee Hellion not quite as powerful here. Just following this Reaper around for a little bit. Is Clem not... Wait, what was that? Oh, Clem wanted to go for the first tumor. The first tumor wasn't even down yet. Yeah, this is... No way. Yeah, I was gonna say, this is way too much damage already. He can just dive in there. And we see... Barracks, Tech Lab. You're seeing a starport here, and the first car is on the way as well. It's gonna be rough, honestly, to figure out what Clem's gonna be doing, but it might be... We might be looking at another Banshee. No! It's gonna be at least one Marine. Maybe we see fast stim into Viking. I'd love to see it. Vikings are so powerful. Even Liberator I like to see, but Clem, not a big fan of those early Liberator openers. Perhaps because Liberators are a little bit more dependent on your opponent messing up, in that they can be scouted by Overlords, and if the Zerg is on point, the Terran just isn't going to get much done. So it's on the Terran. Okay, no, it's actually gonna... Oh, it was a second barracks. I thought it was a starport being built. Oh, my bad. So it's going to be the double car build that I was referencing earlier. Oh, I wasn't paying attention at all. I just assumed that I was a starport. It's 2 barracks opener. It's going to be going into a double medevac drop. Hits really early with just stim. And I believe you get a third Rex, and the factory builds the reactor for that third Rex as well. And then you get your 2 E-base just after. I remember looking into this build because Clem loved to play this build on Romanticide every single game. Every single freaking game he played it on Romanticide. Seems like he's still a fan of it. Double Evo going down here before a layer for Solar. So wants to focus a little bit on those upgrades. Wouldn't be surprised to see another Ling Bane. This time perhaps with 4 gas. 5 gas Ling Bane not quite as popular anymore. Yeah, here comes the third barracks. Oh my god, that's far away. And then this factory builds the reactor usually for that. CC will start flying over and double E-base will go down in a bit. These cars are really not doing anything, and they're not supposed to do anything. They check the edges of the creep. They don't want to go too deep, and they just want to make sure that no roaches make their way across the map. And if roaches do start making their way across the map, then Clem probably wants to get a bunker, and that will be his defense. More depots being built in the front here. Combat shield being researched. Oh no, these two actually don't swap. Immediately starts his mine production there. And we're gonna see 1-1 start as well here for Clem. 61 workers, relatively high. I believe Lumbo once telling me that 57, 58 is already a very high number. And some Zergs even opting to defend this with 55 workers. So Solar really on the edge of what is possible. 7 queens as well. We've seen players like Raynor go for very high queen counts. 9, 10, 11 against any type of 2 Rex opener. Whether it's from triple CC or double CC. I love this little mini rotation. Gonna be coming in from a different angle as the stim commences. You just see Clem is looking for pickups, you know? He's like, okay, queens, I don't want to fight that. I'm not interested in that. But if there's links and if there's banelings, Clem will jump on that opportunity like a rabid dog on his prey. First baneling goes down, couple of links going down as well. Loses 1 marine, combat shield is about to finish up. This is exactly the micro you want. Gets the pick off. And yeah, small resource lost advantage here for Clem. And that's really all he's going for. He isn't planning on winning this game with the first drop. If it happens, he's going to be happy, don't get me wrong. But he's not... Yeah, that's not the goal of this push. The goal is to deny creep as much as possible, especially up this ramp. Because this ramp is a powerful position where you can put a couple of mines. And then all of a sudden, this base as a 5th becomes basically impossible for Solar. So he needs to start looking at the middle base, or it is 12 o'clock. Clem is pushing forward, actually very far forward with these mines. There is an over... No, there's no overseer yet. Starting right now, these Marines don't have 1-1 yet, but they do have combat shields, so they're kind of tanky. Armory not finished yet, which means that every single time one of these mines fire, they're also gonna be taken out afterwards. These Banelings are just walking straight into a slaughterhouse. Whoop, 2 more Banelings getting targeted down. Clem's target fire is magnificent. Let's not beat around the bush here. That's some marvelous target fire. Excellent player when it comes to micro. Fort CC is on the way as well. Armory was a little bit late, so 2-2 hasn't quite started yet, and he's lacking the gas for the armor upgrade as well right now. Already got 8 medevacs, even producing a 9th one. Drilling Claws on the way in barracks 6, 7 and 8 starting up as well. Clem taking a small supply lead. Probably the result of the decent trade that he's been having. Tried for as long as possible to really deny this 5th base position, perhaps moved forward a little bit too much, and now tries a different angle again. There's no sensor tower yet, so this might come as a surprise, and it's not the type of surprise that a lot of people get on their birthday now. This is more the type of surprise when you get home and there's a pair of shoes you don't recognize. So this Baneling is gonna roll in damage a lot. No! He pulls back with the Baneling. It's not actually gonna get too much done here. 2-2's about to finish up. Clem is a little bit behind in the upgrades. Forgot about this +2 armor, and this +2 attack also is a little bit late. So there's going to be some very nice defensive timing for Solar. Now that sounds stupid because, well, you can't really force your opponent to attack into you when you have 2-2. But if they're gonna fight in the next half a minute or so, would be really nice for Solar. This mine is going to burrow, we'll be able to get 2 workers. Now Drilling Claws is complete, and look at the reaction time that Solar needs to have here. And that he isn't having currently. Boom, boom, 17 workers going down. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, huge difference here between the Drilling Claw and the non-Drilling Claw mine. It was a bit of a warning though, as a mine got dropped here. To be fair, it didn't have Drilling Claws back then, so maybe it kind of lulled him into a sense of security there. 17 workers down the drain, of course, is painful, especially because 2 of the mines managed to stay alive as well. Clem once again moving forward, pushing in, mine spread looking fabulous. And I don't think Solar was quite ready for this little run by with the 2 helmets as well. Mine way too far in the back to really contribute to the fight. We see the pickup and the evacuation here. No one left behind. No new Kerrigan will be made. This fight, a couple of mines. Actually, not enough mines here in this fight. As Baneling's moving forward, Solar still backing off. Not confident he can take this army of creep. Agree with that assessment. +3 not starting yet for Clem, who's had the money for a while, but is too busy microing parts of his army. +3 starting just now. Nice thing for Clem is that 3-3 also hadn't started yet for Solar. He's actually going for +3 melee rather than the carapace while he's getting the range. An odd decision, knowing that a lot of these links will never be able to connect with any of these units, as Marines damage them down too fast, push them down too fast, that they never really get to attack. Carapace tends to be the one that is preferred. So we have a synchronized attack here out of Clem, attacking 2 sides at practically the same time. Not quite sure how he manages to do that. These 2 Liberators actually dishing out a lot of damage as well. Lackluster creep spread here out of Solar is not helping him fight this back, but he will be able eventually to push this away. 7 more workers have gone down somewhere, as the famed medevac that already got 17 kills earlier manages to even escape. Hopefully get repaired at home and maybe retired here in the back of the base. No matter how well you perform as a medevac, it feels like you always get sent back into the field without ever really getting repaired. Look at these guys. Holy crap. Yep, there it goes. 27 HP, 173 energy. No respect from Clem at all. He says, back into the field with you, my friend. 5 lurkers are being morphed right now. I'm not quite sure if they're going to be in time for this push, as Clem is moving forward at a very high pace. 2 more mines are rolling in. Oh my god, the micro is so ridiculous. It's so silly. It's so silly. This Viper needs to be careful as well. Ooh, that's a parasitic bomb. Yeah, there goes Joe the medevac. Nice splits, Clem. The sarcasm was pretty slow with that. Joe the medevac, the man responsible for multiple deaths of drones on the other side of the battlefield. Doesn't get his retirement that he wished for. In a farm in Oklahoma. Lurkers do so much damage against Bio. Clem needs to start transitioning into Ghost here, I believe. Perhaps Triple Factory? Triple Factory and Ghost, perhaps. Ghost Academy is here already. We have another engagement out of Clem, but his medevac count isn't that high here. There's only 3. There's 7 more somewhere else, but where's that? Mines are moving forward. Yeah, good luck. This is a planetary. Big man that manages to take the... Oh, wow, that's a lot of damage. Man, +3 links with adrenal glands. Dish out a crap ton of damage. Yeah, I don't think Clem's gonna fall for this. A little bit too obvious, no? Perhaps a little bit too obvious. A crap ton of banelings being morphed, 16 to be exact. And Clem says, okay, I've played this game once before. I kind of know how Zergs function. Mine gets burrowed, doesn't quite get a shot off. The tank does, and we'll be able to take out a couple of banelings. These lurkers will get caught here by these marauders, or perhaps these marauders will get caught by the lurkers. In a reversal of the roles. No base here on the bottom left will make Clem a happy Terran player. Tank not siege, mines not burrowed. I think the Solar might actually be able to push this back. And he might even be able to launch a counterattack from this, because this isn't the greatest fight here. Still some banelings in the back. Good mine drag on top of the majority of those marines. Solar with a very solid hold, and the last few fights haven't been going too well for Solar, even though he's still down 7k. He's just been mining a lot more, of course. Oh my god, 91 workers for Clem. Double mine drop coming in. This time the response out of Solar is rapid. It is solid. Hello? Oh my god, is this not in range? No, he sees it. Okay, he just wasn't A-moving with the Queen. He had it right-clicked on the medevac. Ghost coming out as well as Liberators. Vehicle plating rather than ship weapons. You love to see it. The snipes coming down here as well. Mine hits actually detonating on top of that Ghost. And I think that Solar will be able to get a cleanup here. And now we have a counter-attack. We have an attack on 2 fronts. And Clem is the one defending. And very often attacking is the best defense. Offense is the best defense. And defense is not that great of a defense at all. This Clem is scrambling to get an army together. He's not quite getting it here. I think he's just kind of dead. Attacking the entire game, and one time he oversteps what he's allowed to do and loses a big chunk of army on both sides. GG gets called, and Solar takes game number 2 here in this best of 5. Oxide as map number 3 is going to be a bit of a banger of a game, or at least I hope. Slightly more Terran favored map. Very funny Clem on Light Shade. Good Zerg map. Solar Romanticides, not necessarily a good Terran map though. But I guess that Clem picked it. I would presume. I guess the vetoes would be Beckett on the side of Solar, and Clem, I believe, would veto Jagannatha. It's one of the most disliked maps for Terrans. Because of its size, or its perceived size, and the difficulty of attacking on it. Clem's been consistently able to get a lot of damage done, by the way, with his Reaper. And just as I mentioned that, he gets 0 kills. Very consistent indeed. At least 2 games in a row. Of course, on this map, it's really easy to get the tumor up. Oh, gets a link kill anyway. Nice. Saving my dignity there, Clem. You absolute legend. Thank you very much. This time opening up with a double gas opener. Cool to see. We're going to be seeing... well, knowing Clem is going to be Banshee. If this was Maru, it could have been Battlecruiser still. Clem, the absolute non-mech player. Always making sure that he goes into bio. And with Battlecruisers, a little bit tricky, of course, to go into bio. Just delays your stim so much. And doesn't really put on that much pressure, especially if you only build one. Battlecruiser is very good in combination with very high numbers of Hellions. And when you're playing bio once you... Ooh. Oh. Hellbat Marauder. Okay, Clem, look at that, switching it up. Here I am calling him a predictable French clown, but in reality, an unpredictable French clown. And these guys are dangerous. Oi, oi, oi. Okay, so he starts with the Viking to deny a little bit of Overlord vision. He needs to be... it's really important for him to hide that he's building a Marauder. I don't think the Tech Lab necessarily gives too much away. Armory, Baning Nest immediately gets taken out. This is such a weird move out of Clem. I love it. He tries, or he pretends that he wants to go in with the Hellions. But what idiot would go in with Hellions and sacrifice those if he has a Hellbat attack planned? The answer is no one. And I think this is kind of giving Solar a fake sense of security here, thinking to himself, hey, wait a second. He just tried to sacrifice his Hellions. Like, what is the chance, you know, that he's gonna Hellbat all in at this point? I'd be surprised if he builds any blind Banelings. I really would be. I would be very surprised if there's blind Banelings being constructed. Oh, here's a Medevac now. Banelings still not starting. Here come the Helbats. Yeah, there's no Banelings. Marauders dropping immediately. Good control here out of Clem. Medevac stays alive as well. This is going to be a fast game. This is going to be a very rapid game. Oh no, Queens going down everywhere. Banelings are about to pop. Clem needs the pre-split. Pre-split is fabulous. Fabulous pre-split. Spore. Oh, gets the final shot. Holy crap, the range on this bad boy. Clem takes it out as a measure of revenge. Doesn't do too much, obviously. This Hellbat not quite participating in the fight. Two Marauders still alive. Will be able to concussive those Queens. Next transfuse is available in a couple of seconds. Might be able to save this Queen with it. No, slightly too late there. Maybe too slow in the response. 47 workers against 47 as two more Hellions do join up with the rest of the leftover force. Nah, you can't be serious. This is not it. There's still transfuses remaining. You're not gonna get this. Yeah, that is suicide. Hellions or the Hellbats will move back and most likely morph back into cars here. Oh yes, they do, as we have double eBay coming out of Clem. Okay. Is he gonna swap these two and this over here, I guess? I guess that's going to be the play, right? He's gonna stop his Hellion production is getting halted here. Barracks 4 and 5 should be going down soon as well then. Ooh, no orbital command because he's slightly oversaturated already in his natural. So he decides it's worth it to already start mining from his third pre-orbital command morph. All of these SCVs not providing as much to the state as they should. Pathetic. Isn't that what they live for? Contributing to the welfare of the overall Terran state. Ooh, look at that. 4 queens moving forward. There's only 6 queens. Once again, low queen count out of Solar. Interesting to see. 3 Banelings. So, oh, adios. Oh my god. I think if these Banelings weren't there, he would have gone in. But the Banelings scared him. These Lings don't scare Clem. Lings don't scare Clem in general. I think it's good though that he didn't go in because there was 14 Lings in production. I think he would have gotten surrounded from 3 different sides and lost all of his cars. Beautiful creep denial here, by the way. Oh, we'll be able to get that tumor as well by getting the mother tumor, the main woman, the main lady. Oh, the second factory already. Barracks 4 and 5 are done. Okay, here we go. Hellbat push number 2. Number 2. 8 have already gone down. Good pre-splits. 2 mines. A little bit stacked up. Not the biggest fan of that, but Clem made a... Ooh, can we target... Oh my, of course we can target down the Banelings. Wow, oh my good lord. The mines managing to do what the Banelings didn't and contributing more to the Zerg damage output than any of the Banelings have done so far. That was a big mine. I think it killed legit 6 Marines. That fight could have ended very different if there's a retarget on that mine. Clem this time not rapid enough. Not having the speed. The momentum. Hydraulic Den, Infestation Pit going down at the same time as well. Once again we'll be moving into Lurker. Creep Spread looking very mediocre here though for the Korean Zerg. Not the greatest mine hit so far. Hop. The mine gets taken out. Mines have not been a net positive so far for for the Marine Corps. Guys have not been happy with how they've been used, deployed. Marine Corps has been doing a pretty decent job though at taking out creep tumors. Especially here on top of the ramp, which is potentially a dangerous position. On top of a ramp, behind chokes, these are the main positions where Clem wants to fight later on. Needs to pick up. Misses 6 Marines, once again a little bit sloppy. Here comes the rest of the reinforcement, one more mine on the way. Drilling Claw's about to be, what is it, halfway done? Clem's gonna be moving forward, splits his army in two, scans forward, sees the complete lack of units here, and will burrow 2 mines. There's so little banelings here. Overseer will tank something. I don't think he can fight this. Yeah, he's gonna need to pick up. Good control backwards, and overall units lost in favor of Clem, as it always is, of course, in favor of the Terran. The problem for Solar is that he doesn't have 95 workers. Losing trades is okay, as long as you get to lurkers on 95 workers. Solar right now is down in workers. And that's something you definitely don't want as a Zerg. Down in workers means you're going to be mining a lot less because of the mules as well. Mules right now not being used too much. Mainly because scans are such a big part in this game. As a lot of creep has been denied already. Here come mine shots. None of them really hitting what Clem wants them to hit. Single Marine. We'll be able to return back. Ooh! That's a ballsy guy. No space for him in the medevac anyway, so it's good that he died. And now Clem pushes into the middle. I think Clem is just absolutely outplaying Solar here. This is not a game where Solar is thriving. This is not a game in which the Zerg is having a good time. He still didn't manage to get any creep here. If anything, his creep is being pushed back further and further and further. 7 workers going down as another drop flies in. This mine already has 9 kills. I think this one had 6. So a couple of links probably also going down. Now this base is getting attacked as Clem is sending more forces forward. More reinforcements towards the left side. Medevacs flying towards that left side as well, as we have another army consisting of mainly Marines heading towards the far right. This is such a big issue here for Clem, or for Solar. Gets a pretty decent trade, but what does he have left for the right side? I think the answer is going to be, well, really nothing. There's not a single baneling remaining. There's no banelings being morphed even. And links flying into this is not going to be quite the same as banelings giving their life for the swarm. Base gets taken out right now. We're on, well, what is it, 2.5 mining base here for Solar. It's gonna start saturating this base obviously, and we'll get back up to 3.5 mining base. But 78 workers against a soon-to-be 5 base Clem. Yeah, that's an issue. 3-3 on the way as well for Clem. Solar can't really get the money together to afford his own extra upgrades. Right now morphing in 7 lurkers though, and that might be a turning point in this game. This guy looks like he doesn't have the red thing above him. Still invisible though. He's the special one. He's the white bunny that gets born into the forest, you know? But this one isn't quite as visible because he also was camouflaging in the bushes. A crap ton of medevacs here. 13 medevacs, that's a crap ton. That is indeed how it's specified. Crap ton. Ooh, I love this double lip harass, setting up very quickly. GG gets called, yeah, Solar's had it. Lost his 3rd base, and then he only had his 4th and 5th remaining, and losing workers here, down to 60 workers. Yeah, it's not going to be it. GG gets called. Clemens game number 3, puts himself on match point, but of course, doesn't matter, we're going to be watching all 5. Game number 4 is going to be played here on 2000 atmospheres, one of the more balanced maps in the map pool. Which means the final map is going to be on... I guess Blackburn would be the final map. Yeah, makes sense. Clem once again not doing anything too special. Well, actually, once again, last game was pretty special. Freaking Hellbat Marauder, man. That's a cool build. I like when Clem cheeses. I really do like it when Clem cheeses. Refinery going down on his side as well. Early game always kind of plays out the same, especially in the Clem games. Solar also knows that Clem scouts every single game, so playing something like 16 pool, absolutely not a necessity for safety, and completely pointless if you want to use it aggressively, because it's just going to get scouted and you're not going to get anything done. The responses Clem has prepared are just too good against that. Yeah, and if you have someone that doesn't 2-rex, then what really is the point of 16 pooling? Doesn't 2-rex and he always scouts. Yeah, 16 pool just seems like an economic disadvantage then. It's exactly what it is, so Solar decides to not go for that. Still scouting with his overlords for 2-rex. I really think that a lot of Zergs probably are very afraid for the day that Clem decides to start 2-rexing or 3-rexing. And I have a little talk with him about this, because it just seems like a huge oversight in his toolbox. Like, as a player, you always gotta think to yourself, okay, like I need to, even if I feel like I beat 95% of the people in this matchup, like, you can increase those chances probably by mixing in some wild variety that has high win rates by themselves, but also instills fear in your opponents. It's just really important. StarCraft also is a mental game, and it's a game of cutting edges. If I know that an opponent never scouts or always scouts, I change my game plan based on that. If I know my opponent never does proxy gates or cannon rush, I can change my game plan based on that. If I know he doesn't proxy pylons on the map in a PvP, I can decide to play something different. Like, these are, yeah. The tendencies that people have can always be abused. The same things that make them so good and so solid can also make them very weak against an opponent that does his research well. Beautiful map this, by the way. Look at that. Pink fish. Very fluorescent. The Marines chill on the high ground for now. Interesting build order here. Seeing a 6 Marine. So Reactor first this was. I didn't notice that there was no Reaper, but I guess that's why nothing happened this game. Starport. I think it's going to be a 4 Hellion drop, or like a 6 Marine drop and then a 4 Hellion run by. Technically could be going into a Hellbat push again, but I'd be surprised if we're going to see another Hellbat push. It's going to be a medevac, that's for sure. Right? Yeah. Medevac perhaps into Liberator. Ooh. Okay, wants to go into 8 Marines with a slightly supply blocked right now. We'll be able to get it out, I think. Yeah, 7. He built individual Marines already. These 2 cars are trying to do some... It is going to be Hellbat, actually. Okay. That's interesting. That's very, very interesting, even. See if we can zoom in a little bit. Drone's looking for some mining. It's going to be 6 cars, I think. So 6 Hellbats, 8 Marines, a single medevac, and they'll be fighting 7 Queens and about 10 Lynx. Nah, 17 Lynx. Single Spine also going down. I think Solar's going to be absolutely fine against this. Liberator being built. Here come a couple of Hellions trying to one-shot. I don't... Oh my god, I love this move so much. Gonna be running in before the wall is complete. Mule just dropping down, and this is going to be some huge damage here. Hellbats are moving forward. These 2 cars still need to morph into Hellbats. Good control out of Clem, but he's gonna lose a lot of mining time. He's gonna end up losing 4 or 5 workers as well. 5 workers go down. His medevac has gone down on the other side while he was attending to business at home. There's no more links here though, so Solar does also need to be careful that he doesn't end up losing every single queen. He's gonna end up losing 1 more queen, that's for sure. Clem is pushing forward. 2 Hellions will be able to pick up. What's the queen count right now? We're 2 queens left, 1 queen left. Clem is doing a lot of damage here. Now his worker count is pathetic, so that's not helping him. These 2 Hellions will be able to, or Hellbats will be able to survive. Clem still has a pretty powerful army. And there's no queens remaining, which means that 1 base is going to be practically incapable of mining it. Does Clem just win? GG. Nothing left. Clem just straight up winning with this push. I don't think that was going to happen. Yes, a Baning Nest is a requirement or a slightly faster spine. Clem wins the series, so we have 1 more game, which, like I said, I think is going to be played on Blackburn. See you there. Yep, the final game is indeed going to be on Blackburn. Like I thought, so Beckett and Jagannatha indeed the vetoes out of these 2 players. Makes a lot of sense, of course. Beckett's such a good Terran map. Jagannatha considered to be the best Zerg map. So yeah, we end on Blackburn, which is also, by the way, considered to be a very good Terran map. Out of the map pool, I think Oxide, Blackburn, definitely good Terran maps. Lightshade, a good Zerg map. And yeah, obviously back at the Terran map and Jaga Zerg. I think 3 maps good for Terran, 2 good for Zerg, and then Romanticide and 2000 Atmosphere a little bit more neutral. A little more neutral of a map. But even Lightshade these days, a lot of Zergs don't even like it that much anymore. They still say it's a good Zerg map, but it's not like it's their favorite. It's always tricky, of course, if you're playing against Clem. Like, do you really have a favorite map? I think the answer tends to be no. Like, no map is nice to play against this guy. Decides to go into the main base this time around, looking for a drone kill. He's not gonna get it. Might be able to get a Ling here, though. No, I also don't think he's going to be able to get it. No! No Ling kills here for Clem. Also not going to be able to get a drone down here. So we see the creep tumor going down for free in the natural. Nice start for Solar. One of the reasons why very often Terrans like to send their first Reaper into the natural as well, of course. Now you have players like Elaser, I think Rogue, maybe Dark. Instead of getting the first inject in the main base, they like to get their first inject in the natural. And the first tumor to be placed up here. And the main reason for that is, well, you get to connect your bases, which is nice. But the main reason is so that the extra larvae pop on your natural, which means that the drones that you're producing from those larvae need to walk less far. So this saves you maybe 25 to 30 minerals. And in an early game, that's that's almost a drone that you're saving. That's a significant difference. Clem opening here. Triple CC before second gas. Oh, okay, it's battle cruiser. Cool. Third gas being a little bit too fast here for my liking, so yeah, can only be battle cruiser then. Fusion core should be going down in a couple of seconds. Yep, there we go. Yep. Ah, nice. So this is one of the reasons, by the way. This is really cool, actually. This is one of the reasons why almost all Terrans take their second gas in the natural. It is to hide the fact what's happening with this gas. So if you want to play a triple CC battle cruiser build, you need a third gas. But if you always take the first 2 gases in your main and then the Zerg scouts your natural and sees, hey, what is this guy up to? He has a freaking gas in my natural. In his natural, and I know he has 2 gases in the main because he always does that. Then, as a Zerg, it's really easy to say, okay, this is battle cruiser. But now it's going to be way harder for the Zerg. He's even faking cloak. Look at that. Does he get to build a unit? What? He cancelled. Oh, he's immediately just going to start it. It's kind of obvious still that it's BC, I think. He's looking for that. He's looking for the second gas. Okay, he sees it. He sees it. He sees it. Did he know that the first gas was taken on the other side? Hard to say, but oof. Yeah, okay, he knows. So just with the read that he got from the Overlord, which is the lack of a cloak here, no tech lab on this barracks, and perhaps the gas mining that he saw, he realized he's going to be playing against Mech, throws down a Roach Warren rather than a Baneling Nest, and is going to be going into a lair to get a very fast Spire. Spores being built as well, of course, and Queens. What? Was this 6 Overlords? No way, dude. I mean, he can't start building roaches right now, so this is just a huge error. What a terrible mistake here out of Solar. Very expensive error. Oh man, look at that oversupply he's working with right now. 83 out of 138. Well, Clem is 7393, or 7301. Also not brilliant, but yeah. Here comes a fast Spire. Battlecruiser teleports. See how Solar will respond to losing a couple of workers. Now, I mentioned this before, but Clem is not much of a mech player. I think he's doing this a little bit to see, hey, how does my mech hold up against the best in the world after he already kind of won the series? Because, let's be real, the series is over. So for him, this is still a competitive match, where his opponent will try his best to win, both for the honor and for the money. He gets to test the strategy, because he can't lose the series anymore, which is nice. Clem looking for damage with these cars as well. Is gonna try going in here. That's a good shot on those Lings. Have to admit that. Yamato Cannon's about to finish up, and one of these queens will have to bite the dust immediately. Come on, Clem. Shows a trick. Pop. Roach is doing some nice counterattack damage as well. Of course, this is one of the main problems with Mech, is until your factory units from Factory 2 and 3 start popping, you only have an air unit, most of the time a battlecruiser, and a couple of Hellions, and neither of those units are great against Roaches. Battlecruiser mainly because he's on the other side of the map, and Hellions, well, because they just don't kill Roaches very effectively. So this type of small Roach run-bys tend to do a lot of damage. Terra needs to be very aware of the possibility of that. Of course, you can't get a factory unit like a siege tank or a cyclone out before you get factory 2 or 3 done. Then your Hellion production would halt. Then you lose all your map control, potential to do damage. 12 Corruptors on the way already here, by the way. 2 of those will be able to get sniped out. First turret's on the way as well. Hellions are really looking for an angle. I don't think they're going to be finding it. Pretty easy map to defend, if you ask me. Also the reason why this map is so popular for Mech. Fort base is already being constructed here for Clem. And Glial Reconstitution is finishing up for... Solar's not getting any evos, is he? Oh, he's just super all in. I think this might be a relatively short game here, ladies and gentlemen. And other creatures from the sea. Yeah, this is not great. This is absolutely not great. He needs to kill him. If he doesn't kill him, it's over. But if he kills him, it's also over. So either way, we're going to see an ending relatively soon. Double armory, perhaps a little bit greedy, delaying your extra production. Right now, Clem sees everything with a scan, starts building another turret. He only has a single turret. These BCs will be able to, well, dish out a little bit of damage. I think they took out 3 Corruptors. There's just not enough tanks here. Clem just looks to be in a horrible position. Queens are joining the march as well, as we have seen them in ZVPs. Here they are as well in a, well, what is it? A TVZ. Yeah, they're doing a fantastic job transfusing those Corruptors. Solar is going to push through and he will take the win here. 1-1 won't even finish this game for Clem. Factory 4 and 5 will never get to see use. As Solar wins the game for honor, prestige, a little bit of money. Of course, the good old Aligalak rating. 3-2 in favor of Clem, though. Won the series last game already. So, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to smash like. And I'll hopefully see you all next time for more videos. And if not, that's also okay. Bye-bye.